What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cat and Beats. Welcome to part 2. I have been mixing and mastering this project with only isotope plugins, and this plugin is made by this project is made by Dara. I just finished everything. So let's have a little before and after that we're gonna go into the session where I take you through every single step of the way. So it should be good fun. Anyway, before the song sounded like this, so let's just go to the before, and we'll go to the drop because it's fun. And after, it sounds like this. So it's absolutely loud as snot, and if you want to know how to make loud as snot tracks, wait for part 6 where I show you a double limiter trick. Take care, much love, and yeah, see you in the next one, or next one, the one that's coming up now. Bye. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Cat and Beats, and welcome to part 2, where we're going to be finishing off the drums. We're gonna use some sends and all that good stuff. Basically, we're gonna take the drums and make them not sound so very, very dry. Yeah, let's have some good times here. So last time we left off, it was a bit confusing, and my confusion stopped with the drums. So we put on a gate, and we with the toms. We put on a gate, a little compressor, and we basically want to get this tom sound, or we wanted to get the tom sound to be instead of do 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 do. And I wanted to use an amp, so basically trash, to make that happen. But that wasn't going to happen. So we now have this sound. And I'm just not happy with that sound because it's just not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to transpose it down because I want a thick, dark sound. But because Ableton has a bit of a weird algorithm when it comes to beats, this beats mode, you can also use complex mode, but I want this tight, that's why I had that gate to begin with. So what I'm going to do is leave it on beats, put it onto this forward playing motion, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it as a sort of a gate. So let's just have a listen and just take this little number down until we don't have the sound. There. Now, I like really tight sounds, so I'm gonna just make it a little bit less tight because we're working for Dara here, and not for what I like. Okay, nice and tight, although very dry, so it doesn't really have anything cool to do with it. So let's do something unorthodox because we're only allowed to use these plugins, right? So let's take the vocal synthesizer and drop that onto the toms here, because they're boring to me. So the way the vocal synthesizer works is that you put an input. So basically we're now taking the toms and they're going straight into, they're like whoop, and then they go here. So they have then the synthesizer where you have a biovox. It sounds like a weird fart. Let's just turn the correction off here. And let's have some fun with this. And specifically, I'm going to send through this, and then down here, we can then use these transform knobs and chorus knobs and delay knobs, and it's just going to be dope. So let's just do that. Mix that. Cool. Weird. Can't hear a difference. Sorry, I'm just going through this really fast. Alright, weird as fuck. So now let's take the chorus. Nice. Nice and pretty. Transform it as well. Ooh. Weird shit. Let's drop a little bit of delay. Yes. Let's now mix this in. So we're gonna mix it. Sorry, I like this weird shit. So I'm gonna mix this in and then slowly create odd textures underneath the whole track. Ooh, there's a gate. Sorry, I'm getting... Okay, so we have some weird stuff going on. That makes me really happy. You know, you can start messing with this more if you want yourself. I'm just going to keep it like that because it's weird enough. We need to also stick a little bit to the original, and I just took the toms and pitched them down to -12. So let's hope that everybody will be happy with that. Now, beyond that, my favorite way to get drums to sound good is to use sends. And you make a send via Command-Alt-T, so let's just have some fun and do that. And for the sends, we need some reverb to begin with. Now, the only plugin that I have out of these is Nectar 2 to create reverb. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to have to use Nectar 2 because we're only using isotope plugins because it's fun. And let's just go to the reverb here. Put that at the top. All right. So we're going to put the dry fully, the wet fully wet and the dry completely down because I just need the wet knob. And then the decay time, there is a slight problem because it only goes to 1 second. So it's going to be a little bit of a long decay. I also don't want to have the low end in here because I want it to be like, you know, because in techno you get those really type of highs. So this is going to be the setting. Let's saturate the snot out of it as well because sometimes it's really nice to do. The first one, let's just drop in this snare drum full wet so you understand what's going on and I can hear what's going on. Okay, I'm going to set that a little bit. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but let's just set it. Yeah, we'll just leave that saturation on. It's not really doing too much. Let's see if we can do something with the pre-delay. Just to get it to smack a little bit. So it's like, that kind of sound is kind of nice sometimes. So, okay, heavy ass. Let's also put an EQ here as well. I kind of wanted to tilt shift. Is there a tilt shift EQ? Does that exist? I don't know. Let's just make our own tilt shift. So tilt shift means that it goes like that. Whoop. So I want a little bit of more toppy. Okay, let's just leave that like that. I'll maybe have a look at the other things here, but leave that like that. So now that we've set the reverb, we're going to slowly add in some elements and it will be kind of mixed together. And I'm thinking, maybe because the reverb is so long, maybe we can sidechain to the kick drum so it becomes a really sucky track, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's just put this in here slowly. That's enough for me. Let's take these hats for a second. There's something a little bit off about this. All right. Let's take those toms as well, because right now they're too dry. Man, those toms, it would be great to have a shorter reverb, but we're gonna just have to live with this. Let's get the LFO tool out, and it's the only one that's not from iZotope, but I'm using that because I need it to go, you know. A little bit of that is always nice. I think I have that plugin over, where is it? Right here. Yep, let's copy that, and let's drop that onto the iZotope Nectar thing. See what it does. Have a think for a second. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit crazy. I'm trying to just create a tail so that it doesn't last so long. You think I can get away with it? Yeah, it works, right? Sorry, sometimes you have to come with creative solutions like this. That's a pretty cool sound. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, another thing that I really want to do before I get into all the compression stuff is I really want to get a little bit of that top end sizzle. And I normally use an amp, so I amplify things. But it's also, I use the Aphex Vintage Exciter, which basically is my secret tool. Isn't that secret? And we're going to have to figure that out, but we're going to have to now use the Exciter to do that. Oh shit, this is the wrong plugin. The Exciter is in Neutron. Here we go. Let's just use this. And I only want to really... Can you not show me this? Okay. I only really want the top end to be like sizzly and toppy like that. So I'm going to introduce another one here. And let's just start harmonic distortion only from around 400 Hertz. And I'm going to just take this all the way down. And then I'm going to drive the track here, and we're going to mess around with this. Again, I'm going to drop in the snare 100% because snares are something I just know what it's doing. So let's drop it in. Okay. Where's the... Give me more. There we go. Not really doing much, is it? More. There we go. Okay, so tube is doing a hell of a lot more than tape. Can I not give a boost here as well? Oh, that's annoying. I think I want a way over the top feel here, so let's just drop an equalizer behind that. Boost the top. Yeah, I know that sounds horrible by itself, but if we just add in a little bit of love, like this. How's that? Yeah, let's take a little bit of that away. There, okay. Let's do squeeze now. Ooh, struggling, man. I'm struggling. Okay, sorry, I need to snap out of it. So let's get let's leave these two cents for a second, and let's move on to compressing the drums together. And Neutron is supposed to like do this stuff for you as well. So it has a preset track assistant thing. So let's just let Neutron do some stuff for us. So let's just say that we need drums. Okay, percussion. I'll just auto detect it because it's just drums. And let's say that it needs to be balanced with high intensity. I don't know what these things are. Let's just put it in medium intensity. Press play. Oh no. No. I don't like that. I don't like that. I want it to have a clean track. Let's do warm with a low intensity. That's nice. I know there's like some reverb. Now it again has that bottom end, so I don't know. No. So let's just set a compressor ourselves. It is interesting to start with, but there's too much stuff going on to fix again. So there's a vintage mode, which basically lets you read meters instead of look at pretty pictures, and I'm more into vintage modes than that. So we're gonna just set a compressor, and I set it in a insane way. I put the ratio, well, let's set the ratio normal, but attack, release, everything is just smacked. And that's just so that you can hear what's going on. And basically to really set the attack time nice. And I want that. I want the attack time to let through a little bit of the, so we're going to have to get a sidechain here. Take away low end. So it's only going to react to the cat. Set the release so I can put emphasis. Like, here, let me show you. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Because basically if I put in too much low end, so basically if I don't use this sidechain function here, the compressor is really going to react to that the kick drum, and it's going to pull down every single time on that kick drum. And I kind of want the top part to be squished a bit and attacky. So you just move it over here, and then you move it back until you feel that it sits right. So over here, it's nice and over the top. It's a little bit too much. And then you have a little mix knob so you can just dial it in perfectly. Let's also put the gain back up because we've lost about 1 to 2 dB of gain. Let's bypass. So with it bypassed, it sounds a bit weak and a bit soft, and then with the bypass turned on, it's nice and thick. So I'm definitely happier with the with that thing on like this. So that's my magic compression setting. First, I'm using that compressor for an overall drum bus as well. Let's just put in the sub hit 2 and see. I just need to get this bottom end in there as well. Just slowly put it in. The secret to setting your low end is to literally slowly put it in, and when the kick drum and the low end just kind of sit well, that's where you leave it. It's really easy to overdo low end, and so I just always suggest you put it in, and when you hear it, that's pretty much that's you don't have to push it more. Well, it's hard to judge low end, but for me, minus 10-ish. It's enough. That's already a bit much, so I'll just leave it at minus 10. I will leave this sub hit by itself, I think, because we need to also look at the bass. We're going to look at the bass another time, but for now, I think I'm going to leave my drums like this. Normally, it would be nice to also have some sort of ping pong delay. Let's just see. Would that be nice? Let's check our mid side as well with the imager. I can live with that. The snare drum is a little bit over the top because it's being double compressed, so I'm just going to take that down. And I'm going to take this tom and do a little bit of equalization on it, but that's it. After that, there is no more of these drums. The drums are perfectly fine. So let's just take away the top end a little bit. Okay, I'll leave that the way it is and leave these drums the way they are as well. This was it for this episode, for this week. If you've watched it this far, good job on you. I'm very impressed. And yeah, so my Patreon supporters can see all this stuff way before. So make sure, if you're interested in that, to go over to Patreon. I have lots of little rewards for you as well, and it really helps me out, and it will keep this channel going for a long time. Anyway, for next week, we are going to go over the acid bass line. Should be a good time. And for this week, we're just leaving it with this. All right, take care, guys. Bye.